Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Francesco and what I do in these videos is help educate you about productivity tools and resources to help you move forward with your productivity.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
So in this session, what I'll be doing is something that I have been meaning to do for quite a while, is basically give you an introduction fresh off the bat to Todoist. And this will be for those users who are interested in looking at Todoist as an option, or that have just signed up to Todoist and are looking for a way to organize their folders, manage their tasks, and kind of coordinate things like due dates, things like priority items and labels if they go premium. So this video is going to encompass all of that. What I will do is I'll include timestamps inside the description. So if you're at a specific stage already, you've gone past the sign up, you've gone past adding tasks, and you want to start organizing your folders, there's a great way to skip and move forward so you save a bit of time. So let's get stuck in. Firstly, I'm going to sign up to the account. So I'll join you in a second when I've just done that. Okay, so I've just created an entirely fresh Todoist account. So as you can see, when you get started, you're met with the inbox, which is the sole place that a lot of people start with when they go on Todoist. As you can see on the left-hand side, you've got your tallies for other dates, so today and next 7 days. And along here, you've got the projects as well. So you've got some pre-suggested ones, some personal, shopping, work, errands, and movies to watch. You also have labels over here, but as you can see, they've blocked it based on that it's a premium feature. And you can click in filters as well and see that you can actually get started with some of them, which is great. So it's really basic when you join. Up in the top right-hand corner, you've got the setup, you've got your karma points, and that's really all you get when you kind of join. Up here, again, you've got your search bar. So when you start, what a lot of people don't do is they don't start kind of brain dumping. And for those who don't know, brain dumping is something that a lot of people do to kind of clear their mind of all of their tasks. And it's something that is mentioned in David Allen's GTD, which is Getting Things Done. Fantastic book. I'll include the link in the description on Amazon. It's a great read. I definitely recommend checking it out. But his theory inside that was open loops. And open loops are basically tasks that you have not completed and that are still kind of whirling around in your head. And in the same way, your head is like computer RAM. If you store too much in your head, you kind of, get overloaded. The computer slows down when the RAM is overloaded, much like your brain. If it's overloaded with tasks, you'll forget them. And your brain will kind of move around. So the idea of the inbox is to capture those open loops, those uncompleted tasks, those things that make your brain stress, and really allow your brain to be that thinking tool versus actually being something that requires you to store everything versus a storage tool. So basically what I would suggest to start off with, if you're a complete beginner in the kind of productivity area, I would get a pen and paper out or directly dump them into Todoist, is actually just write down the 30 to 40 tasks that are bothering you at the moment, and you can theme them. So you can, do shopping first, you could do work, you could do personal, you could do family, whatever it is, and just start dumping them into here. So what I recommend is when you're doing this is to use the keyboard, and especially if you're on the web, click A, and a new task will appear. And once you do that, so I'm just going to put a few in. So like shop for bread. So this is all things that could be on my mind at that time. And as you can see, it automatically shuffles down to the next one. But let's say I, needed time to go over to Evernote and pick out some things that I was thinking of. You can just click A and it will go straight back to that. So what I wouldn't do at this given point is once you're entering all of these tasks, you probably, football with Sam, let's say you enter all of these tasks and one of them is correlated to next week, let's say. So let's say go salsa dancing next week. As you can see, what Todoist does naturally in its text is highlight key functions, so dates, that essentially correlate to that task. What I would do to start off with, the only reason is because I think I want you to be more scientific when you start, and I think that'll be valuable when it comes to future usages of Todoist. So click off them and just simply enter. So try and avoid Todoist naturally inputting them. So once you've got a list of about 10 or 20, what you need to be doing is you need to start looking at your projects. But before that, what I want to show you is something that I think everyone should do before they add anything to projects. So over here, let's say shopping for bread. There's 4 different areas you actually have to think about when shopping for bread. There's potentially, the priority, there's the due date, there's the timings, there's a lot of different things like that. And obviously this is going very scientific on bread. But let's say you finish work at 5:30, and let's say bread being a priority will be, a quite high priority because you need to make sandwiches for tomorrow. And let's say you definitely need to be reminded of this. So what I recommend doing is starting to learn the Todoist. They're almost called like, I'm not like keyboard shortcuts, but they're not. They're like natural text input. So what I'll tend to do is I'll tend to press Todd for today, Tom for tomorrow, next week for next week, next Thursday for next Thursday. And they're really the kind of core ones. So you can actually call out dates. So let's say, it's Wednesday today, but I actually want to correlate this for Friday at 5:30 p.m. So I've added that, and what it will simply do is it will take that and add it for 5:30 p.m. It will also give me a countdown. As you can see, it's not Wednesday, but it'll give me a countdown there, 4 days left until that. And what's beautiful as well is you can definitely click reminders. Again, this is a premium feature, so it's really valuable if you've got premium. But that's the way to really get kind of statistical on things when you actually want to be push notified that that's coming up. As you can see, even though it's in the inbox, it's already notified the next 7 days. So what I recommend is adding a priority tag. So P1 is highest priority. So as you can see, the circle will go red. If you use P2, the circle will go dark orange, which means that it's the second priority. And P3, the circle will go yellow. I know a lot of people that use Todoist that actually just avoid all of these kind of shortcuts and actually have a priority 4 and just keep it like this so that they can kind of keep that kind of list look versus that kind of priorities look. But I think once you kind of get not overwhelmed, but as things go on, you'll start to want to use this. So let's say that was priority 2. So what I could do is if I had premium, I could mention things and it would go into the labels feature, but I don't have premium on this account. So that's something I don't want to show you. Okay, so let me just quickly prepare some of the other events and start organizing the folders and give you some suggestions on that. Okay, so what I've just done is I've added some priorities and some key dates to all of these tasks. As you can see, Todoist already gave you some project folders, and that's really great. I think it's important to have some really great starters. But what I tend to do is recommend that because it's your own workspace and because you kind of want that kind of correlation, then I would start deleting some of these. And what I would do is I would implement a kind of basic system that you feel comfortable with. So what I would recommend is starting with the project folder personal. And obviously I just deleted that one, but I would type it in green. So it's kind of like positive, it's your space. Then I would type in professional, which I tend to do purple because it's kind of like a professional type color. And then if you're anything to do with the students or you are a student, then I definitely recommend academic in a blue. And finally, I would recommend social as a final one. So as you can see, you've covered most of the areas of your lifestyle. So personal, I recommend you adding anything with family, anything with fitness, and anything with kind of, house, finance, those sorts of things that are directly related to yourself. Professional, sorry, I would recommend adding anything to do with your workplace, coordinating activities in your workplace, or actually planning your future. So professional can be stuff like building a CV, it can be writing that report after work, or it can be organizing your emails for tomorrow. Anything that goes in here is really directly related to your career. Down here, academic, I mean, this one's a real optional one, but I mean, you can change it for learning. So I know a lot of people that have personal, professional, academic if they're in university or school, and or they change academic for learning or personal development. Obviously, personal development can be directly related to personal, but I would say personal tasks are more towards actionable things for you, and academic or learning or personal development could be things that you want to kind of do in the future. Down here in social, this is for any events with friends. That kind of crosses over sometimes with family, but mainly for friends, any activities that you're looking to plan in the future, any holidays or things like that, that really require you to be in that social environment. So as you can see, these are really a basic structure to your Todoist. And the reason I'm introducing these to you is because what I want you to do is really get a basic understanding of how you can set up folders. I started with this format and I introduced a lot of people to this, and I told them that they will reach out of this, and they have, and they've done a great job at it. But from this, I mean, the one thing that what a lot of people have done is actually use that Evernote notebook feature, that structure that I recommended, is actually using projects, areas, and resources and archive. So what a lot of people do, and that I follow, which is fantastic, is using all of these areas, like so, to start bringing them in. So let's say I had fitness. Let's say I had marathon. Okay, and the marathon's next month. So I'm going to put that in my projects folder. Let's say I have up here. I have family. That's an area. So as you can see, I'll just shuffle this over quickly. So as you can see, projects is anything short term. So projects encompasses anything from 1 to 12 months. Areas encompasses anything from 1 to 3 years plus. And that can be valuable. So I tend to keep family there. And then let's say up here, this is house information 2016. I would drag this into resources because although it's still 2016, that's all the information and activities that I need to do for the house. And that's a resource. And finally, let's say I just finished that marathon. What I would do is I would then say, marathon 2016, let's say 0416, and I would shuffle this down to archive because I might want to create a template out of it later. What I tend to recommend is that over time, as you start kind of building your Todoist, I know that obviously your projects will go out really fast, but it's a great way in that you can go in and actually export the template which is in there, or email the tasks in that project to a Evernote account that actually gets rid of a lot of that stuff. So a lot of people are using this structure. I mean, it's a great way to kind of coordinate all of your activities. I would recommend knocking these two down so that you've just got projects and areas open. And again, this is something that you can build on, you can build out of. And what I'll show you next is what my Todoists actually look like now. But these are two simple structures. So the one I showed you before with those four personal, professional, social, academic, and social is a very introductory one. This is a kind of level 2. And what I'm going to show you is what you kind of get comfortable with over time and build on. So as you can see, over time, you start building your Todoist account up and you can really customize it to your productivity. So as you can see on the far left, I have a very intricately placed setup. I mean, this is something that I've really worked on over time. But one thing I would highly recommend is continuing to audit your Todoist project folders and Todoist lists. Because I think sometimes you get in the routine of having and forcing a task into a structure that doesn't sometimes feel like it should be in this place. So, for example, let's say over time you get used to this structure, but you start finding you're putting in 3 or 4 tasks, maybe 5 or 6 tasks per week that kind of don't meet this structure. I would highly recommend using your kind of logic to adapt. So pull out a pen and pencil. Let's say you're 3 or 4 months down the line. Pull out a pen and pencil and see what kind of activities you feel you correlate into. So just going back to this, some of my kind of issues as I started, as you can see, I've created an in tray here. So I found that I was getting a lot of tasks coming in during the day. So what I would do is I'd obviously dump them here, and then this would be my kind of buffer folder to kind of coordinate that. So I noticed that they weren't that relevant, but they were still important to some of my activities. I also noticed that I was getting a lot of agenda items that I was yet to add to my meetings list. So I decided to create a folder called Agenda. I needed to keep on task, so I created projects, which is a place where all of the core activities come. And as you can see from a lot of these, some of the importance really brings out quite easily inside that. I've also got one-offs and notes and reoccurring. And you'll see some of the kind of notes as you carry on. There's a lot of recurring themes, as you can see. So recurring, follow-up, plan videos. And as you can see, I've really customized it to what I think my productivity system looks like. That changes every single week. And I highly recommend that you do continue to audit it. But as you start off, what I highly recommend is a very simple structure. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to revert this back to that same structure that I had before. So as you can see, I've created those 4 basic folders. And what I'm going to do now is, this is what I highly recommend. When you've brain dumped those 30 tasks, I highly recommend dragging them in. So shop for bread would be a personal task. Football with Sam would be a social task. And going out dancing next week in salsa would be a social task. Let's just add a few personal stuff. So design meeting at 11 p.m. tomorrow, P2. Let's say board meeting next Thursday at 3:32 p.m. Very precise, and it's got quite high importance. Let's say I want to add an academic one. So watch Skillshare videos tomorrow at 21 p.m. Okay, so I'm just dragging those in. And as you can see, professional. Okay, so as you can see on the left, I've clicked the today view and I can see all of those today tasks. And as you can see, I can see that week view. So I've got all of those tasks there. And what a lot of people don't do, and I think they should definitely do because I think it saves so much time, is use this kind of date feature. So using the at times for specific things will help make a timeline throughout your day. So you can see this is going red when it's overdue. And as you can see, that flow is quite easy to follow. Salsa first, Skillshare, and then design meeting. That would probably go in a different order. I would definitely highly recommend going to all of your... I would also highly recommend going to all of your project folders and actually making them look as pretty as you can. I think it's important when you're starting out to make things look as nice as possible because it keeps that momentum of wanting to use the tool to carry on. So as you can see, social appears quite often and all of those kind of tasks, which is a great thing. Is up here you can actually really dumb down a lot of the stuff. So let's say you only want to focus on tomorrow's tasks. You can just type tomorrow in and all of those tasks will come up. Let's say you just want to focus on all of your professional tasks. Same again, you can actually see that view quite easily. I mean, clicking into here is quite easy too, which is great. So you can see all of that view there. So filters is another key one. So filters is actually a free feature, which I think they changed recently. But as you can see all of the priority 2 tasks. Let's say you're kind of stressing out and you actually want to do all your priority 1, then it's all there for you. You can also hit view all, which will basically be a very similar dashboard, which is a great way to use to see stuff. I also recommend anyone to check out the no due date, which is basically a query that matches. So, for example, if I typed in test, and let's say I didn't assign it and I completely forgot that I had one little nugget in there. What I could do is I press that and I can find those ones and go, oh, yeah, I need to do that for today at 10 p.m. So it might be a good way to check all of that. Another useful one is obviously, for those who don't know, let's say you're in professional and you want to start coordinating it with your team. All you do is you invite your team, you can add up to 25 people per group and actually get started in sharing the item. So you can actually assign that task to everyone else, which is great. So once you've got those other people there, it's pretty easy to assign it and a great way to kind of coordinate all of your tasks. You can simply add new projects down here. What's great about this is you can use these to drag in. So as you build out time, you could actually have reoccurring tasks inside of sport and actually have that as something there. So you can see that kind of view, which is great. To create reoccurring tasks, so let's say you do football every Monday, that's all you have to do. Every Monday will allow you to kind of coordinate that. Let's say it's at 8 p.m. and let's say it's a priority 2. Once you've entered that, that will appear every Monday. So if I click onto here, as you can see, it will reschedule it for the next Monday after that. So 14 days until that Monday. And as you can see by this, it's starting to fill up my main timeline. So just before I kind of leave, because I think I've started to show you some of the core features of Todoist, I recommend the following. So using queue will actually add a task when you're in next 7 day view. So you can actually add a task from up here. You can add all of the details like normal, which is great. I also recommend checking out the notification feature, especially when you have teams, as this will be a great way to kind of to coordinate everything across your day. The Karma button is actually really valuable because you can see all of your daily goals and whether you've hit them, and also all of your trendings. The only issue is obviously you need a premium account to be able to see all of your completed tasks over a period of time. Over in the top right hand corner, I definitely recommend checking out the Todoist settings tab, because from here you can actually change a lot of core stuff. So there's some recommended themes. I mean, there's a black one, which is nice, a white one. Some of them others are premium as well, which is quite nice, but I recommend just keeping with the Todoist one to start off with. You can actually be very specific and change some of your start date, start page to today. I actually recommend changing this to the next 7 days so that you get an overview each time you come in. I would also change this to date, month, year, and also the time format to at least 1300 hours so that you can see this kind of digital view. Start date, I would change to Monday, and next week is Monday 2. The only other thing around your account is actually to remember that there are notifications on all of these. So I would definitely take off some of the email notifications, because once you've added other people, you can start getting some hideous amounts of emails. I mean, some of them are useful when you get started, but I wouldn't recommend having them on all the time. Anyway, guys, that was a really basic introduction to Todoist. I think it's really valuable for you to get started. Those project folders are a really great way to kind of get the ball rolling. But as I said, it's really about what you feel comfortable with. And as things are coming in, you can start to make the decisions about how you're going to structure things as you go along. So definitely keep playing around with Todoist. It's great on mobile, it's great on web, and I definitely highly recommend setting up an account today. So I'll include all the links in the description. The timestamps will be there. So if you want to go back and check something, please do. I'm looking forward to doing some more videos in the near future. Cheers, guys. Have a great week. Stay productive, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.